I don't believe him one bit.
I don't believe him.
Trust.
I don't know much about Clinton except promises.
He tells everybody what they want to hear.
Well, he wants to spend more money, and the only place he can get it is from the taxpayers.
Higher taxes,
Less food on the table,
broken promises.
less clothes on the kids' back,
I don't know how we can take any more taxes.
less money to go to the doctor,
He's raised taxes in Arkansas, he'll raise taxes here.
just less of everything.
I don't believe him. I don't believe him one bit.
I don't believe him.
Trust.
I don't know much about Clinton except promises.
He tells everybody what they want to hear.
Well, he wants to spend more money, and the only place he can get it is from the taxpayers.
Higher taxes,
Less food on the table,
broken promises.
less clothes on the kids' back,
I don't know how we can take any more taxes.
less money to go to the doctor,
He's raised taxes in Arkansas, he'll raise taxes here.
just less of everything.
Well, in a few days, you'll make your choice for President of the United States. And it's a serious choice, the most important democracy asks us to make. There are many times that the President alone must make tough decisions that affect people's lives. He is the commander-in-chief, and I want you to think about that. He must have the resolve, the maturity, the moral authority to lead the nation in times of crisis. In the White House, in the Oval Office, you cannot be on both sides of every issue. You must make the call, and you must lead. And that's what the American people expect from their president. Our economic future here at home depends more than ever on competing in a global economy, seizing new opportunities and opening new markets. And that's how we can create more jobs and economic strength. America must have a leader who understands the world and who's prepared to act. Leaders of other nations, people all over the world, judge America by the character of the president. And the president's word must be good. People around the world expect that of the United States. The person you choose to lead America must have certain qualities: decisiveness, honesty, integrity, consistency. All of you know that the presidency is the most serious job in the world, and we simply cannot put America's future at risk with a person who is wrong for the job and with policies that are wrong for America. When you make your choice, choose what's right for America. I need your support, and I ask for your vote.
In his 12 years as governor, Bill Clinton has doubled his state's debt, doubled government spending, and signed the largest tax increase in his state's history. Yet his state remains the 45th worst in which to work, the 45th worst for children. It has the worst environmental policy, and the FBI says Arkansas had America's biggest increase in the rate of serious crime. And now Bill Clinton wants to do for America what he's done for Arkansas. America can't take that risk.
Just 2 hours ago, Allied air forces began an attack on military targets.
President Bush said today that he reassured Mr. Yeltsin the United States would stand by democracy.
If revolutionaries and terrorists are armed with nuclear and chemical weapons, it may pose new challenges to the president.
In a world where we're just one unknown dictator away from the next major crisis, Who do you most trust to be sitting in this chair?
Just 2 hours ago, Allied air forces began an attack on military targets.
President Bush said today that he reassured Mr. Yeltsin the United States would stand by democracy.
If revolutionaries and terrorists are armed with nuclear and chemical weapons, it may pose new challenges to the president.
In a world where we're just one unknown dictator away from the next major crisis, who do you most trust to be sitting in this chair?
Bill Clinton says he'll only tax the rich to pay for his campaign promises. But here's what Clinton economics could mean to you. $1,088 more in taxes. $2,072 more in taxes. 100 leading economists say his plan means higher taxes and bigger deficits. $1,191 more in taxes. $2,072 more in taxes. You can't trust Clinton economics. It's wrong for you. It's wrong for America.
If you're going to be president, you have to be honest.
Bill Clinton says telling anything honestly to the American people.
I don't think he tells the truth. I think he evades a lot of questions.
I don't think he's honorable, and I don't think he's trustworthy.
One minute he said he didn't, next he said he did.
I wouldn't trust him at all to be commander-in-chief.
He dodged the draft. He can't be straight on anything.
Bill Clinton seems to be for everything that everybody asks for.
I think there's a pattern, and I just don't trust Bill Clinton. I can't trust anything that he says.
If you're going to be president, you have to be honest.
Bill Clinton says telling anything honestly to the American people.
The man just tells people what they want to hear.
About dodging the draft.
I think he's full of hot air.
I wouldn't trust him at all to be commander-in-chief.
I think there's a pattern, and I just don't trust Bill Clinton.
I don't think he's honorable, and I don't think he's trustworthy.
You can't have a president that says one thing and does another.
It scares me. He worries me, and he'll just go one way or another.
The welfare system has got to be reformed. I favor reformed welfare. The victims of the current system are the welfare recipients themselves. And I'm not opposed to welfare, but I'm opposed to the existing system that strips every recipient of his dignity. And I want to restore that dignity by giving him a chance to work, giving him a chance to give him a shot at the American dream. We have seen the demise of the communist system. We've seen the fall of the Berlin Wall. We've seen democracy and freedom come to Eastern Europe and to all across South America the same. We've made dramatic strides toward world peace. But we must not let our guard down. Who knows where the next tyrant will come from?
The world is in transition. The defining challenge of the 90s is to win the economic competition, to win the peace. We must be a military superpower, an economic superpower, and an export superpower. In this election, you'll hear two versions of how to do this. Theirs is to look inward, ours is to look forward. Prepare our people to compete, to save and invest so we can win. Here's what I'm fighting for. Open markets for American products, lower government spending, tax relief, opportunities for small business, legal and health reform, job training, and new schools built on competition ready for the 21st century.
My fellow Americans, as I've traveled this great land this year, you've spoken to me about your hopes and dreams, your fears and concerns. The Americans I hear from every day are concerned about their jobs, about whether they can afford health care, about the quality of their children's schools. But the concerns really go deeper than that. You really want to know what kind of America will our children grow up in. We owe you a clear and serious answer to that question. In that spirit, today in Detroit, I outline my agenda for American renewal, an integrated, comprehensive set of answers to the questions you've been asking around your dinner table. My opponents suggest an old answer. Just go back to having government solve all our problems. I wish it were that easy, but it is not. There is no simple solution. We live in a changed world, and it will take new solutions, comprehensive solutions that work together. My agenda is comprehensive, and it's built around basic American principles: economic security, opportunity, giving power to people, not to government. My agenda tells you what's wrong, what's right, and how we can renew America. Renewal by training all our workers, accelerating research and development, and keeping America first in high technology. Renewal by controlling what you pay for health care and making it available to you and your neighbor. Renewal by cutting taxes, opening foreign markets, and stimulating small business to create jobs for you and your kids. We'll also renew America by getting kids off drugs and families off welfare and into work. And we'll create 21st century schools for 21st century students and trust education, not to governments and bureaucrats, but to parents and teachers. Some of my ideas for renewal are well underway. Some are just beginning. In the weeks ahead, I'll present more ideas and how we'll make them work. It's fitting that we truly begin this election campaign the same week most children go back to school, because at its heart, this election is for the young. The question is, who can lead America to a better, freer, more prosperous and fulfilling future, not just for us, but for the next generation, our kids and grandkids. In my first 4 years, we took the lead in changing the world and made our children's lives safer and more secure. For the first time since December 1941, America is not at war, hot or cold. In my next 4 years, we must turn the same energy, the same innovation, the same determination to take advantage of this historic opportunity around the world to build a safer and more secure America right here at home. And that is my agenda, and that is my commitment to you. You deserve to have this election focus on the real issues that will define our future. You deserve no less, because at this pivotal point in history, you're faced with two very different philosophies, two very different agendas, two very different candidates, and a very real choice. You have a right to know how I plan to move America forward, where I will take this country, what future we can chart together for our children. My agenda for American renewal shows where we should go and how we can get there. I hope you'll take the time to read it. Please call, and we'll send you a copy. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
I think President Bush was very strong tonight.
George Bush made me feel confident.
Bush won this debate.
Slam dunk by the president.
Yeah, I don't trust Clinton. I didn't like his answers. I didn't like what he said. I don't trust him.
Arkansas is at the bottom of the list. How can you keep bragging about Arkansas?
I thought Bush did a much better job tonight than he had done at any other time.
I think the president was very strong this evening. I'm really proud.
I think President Bush did wonderful. I think this is his best debate. I think he let the American people.
Today, for the first time in half a century, America is not at war. And America's wartime economy is changing to a peacetime economy. But that change has brought fear and uncertainty. The fear of losing a job, of losing a home. The uncertainty of tougher economic competition from around the world. But with change comes opportunity. And my agenda for American renewal can be the bridge to the future. It provides a choice of quality schools so our children have the knowledge to compete. It provides job training, so workers have the new skills to compete. It provides health care for all and controls spiraling costs so our people can afford to compete. And my agenda strengthens small businesses that create 2 of every 3 jobs so we have the new jobs to compete. Today, we stand at the threshold of a new era. We change the world around us. Together, we must do the same at home.
The presidential candidate on the left stood for military action in the Persian Gulf, while the candidate on the right agreed with those who opposed it. He says he wouldn't rule out term limits, while he says he's personally opposed to term limits. This candidate was called up for military service, while this one claims he wasn't. One of these candidates is Bill Clinton. Unfortunately, so is the other.
There is a simple explanation for why this happened.
He said he was never drafted. Then he admitted he was drafted. Then he said he forgot being drafted. He said he was never deferred from the draft. Then he said he was. He said he never received special treatment, but he did receive special treatment. The question then was avoiding the draft. Now, for Bill Clinton, it's a question of avoiding the truth.
To pay for his increased spending in Arkansas, Bill Clinton raised state taxes, and not just on the rich. He increased the sales tax by 33%, imposed a mobile home tax, increased the beer tax. He assessed a tourism tax, created a cable TV tax, supported a tax on groceries. And now, if elected president, Bill Clinton has promised to increase government spending $220 billion. Guess where he'll get the money? pay for his increased spending in Arkansas, Bill Clinton raised state taxes, and not just on the rich. He increased the sales tax by 33%, imposed a mobile home tax, increased the beer tax. He assessed a tourism tax, created a cable TV tax, supported a tax on groceries. And now, if elected president, Bill Clinton has promised to increase government spending $220 billion. Guess where he'll get the money?
Well, everyone wants change. America must change. But change must be guided by principle. And there are three basic principles that must lead our quest for change. First, we must control wasteful government spending. That's absolutely essential for the kind of change the American people want. And second, we must strengthen the American family. The decline of the American family is hurting the soul of America, and we've got to change that. Third, we're a nation of laws. We must increase respect for the law. We must pass strong legislation to help the fight against crime and to back up our police officers and law enforcement officers out on the street. These are the kind of changes that America needs, and I'm convinced I can bring about that change. To get our economy moving faster, we have to reduce the huge federal deficit by cutting spending. The only way to do that with certainty is to pass the Balanced Budget Amendment. And earlier this summer, we came 9 votes short of getting the 2/3 majority needed to pass it. I'm going to fight to get those 9 votes from a new Congress next year and pass the Balanced Budget Amendment.
I saw the debate last night, and I just got one conclusion: it's all George Bush.
I still have a lot of confidence in my president.
I feel we need Bush to keep us from a big spending Congress.
I don't trust Clinton.
The man says one thing and does another.
First he denies it, and then he says, well, maybe it happened. You can't trust him.
Clinton gets in, what we're going to see are more taxes.
One thing that's got me definitely for Bush is I remember what happened the last time we did things the way Bill Clinton wants to do them.
One of the great challenges of our country is to restore safety to our neighborhoods. It just isn't right to have a mother sitting at home wondering whether her child is going to get home safely from school, or a dad that wants to go out to the store at night wondering whether he's going to get mugged on the way, or leave your car in front of your house and wonder whether it's going to be ripped off. We've got to do something about crime in this country. And what I'd say to the families that are concerned about that, and there's almost universal concern, is help me pass legislation that will back up our law enforcement people and will have a little more sympathy for the victim of crime and a little less for the criminal. Well, a president gets many bills that come down to the desk. And included in the bills are a lot of good things, and then sometimes some bad things. Many of the things that come to a president are what they call pork barrel spending. A congressman, because of his seniority or his leadership in some subcommittee, can put in a project for his district that really doesn't have anything to do about the national good, what's best for all Americans. And the president then should have the right to take a red liner and mark out those pork barrel spending programs that have helped us move to these outrageous deficits. And I'm fighting to get the American people to give the president what 43 governors have, and that's called the line item veto.